The graph of y equals x minus 2 squared plus 3 is sketched below on two separate graphs. Sketch a graph of the following function. Graph at least 3 points for each graph. So the first one that we're going to deal with is the negative outside of the function, means to reflect over the x-axis. So what we're going to do is we're going to reflect this graph over the x-axis, and you can count. But once again, when we reflect over the x-axis, we start here and then we flip over. So starting with our vertex, 1, 2, 3 away from the x-axis, 1, 2, 3 away from the x-axis. If we take this point, 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the x-axis. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away from the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away from the x-axis. You could count the other side. You can keep the pattern going. Quadratics are symmetric with respect, or they're symmetric. There's that line that goes right down the middle. So whatever happens on one side of the vertex happens on the other. The vertex of our new picture here is 2, negative 3. And if we want to put this in transformed, if we want to write the equation, it's going to be y equals x minus 2 squared minus 3. And the fact that we're reflecting it over the x-axis means that we're going to have a negative out here in front. Same idea on letter B, only this time we're going to reflect over the y-axis. Again, we can count on this. I'm going to start with the vertex. It's 1, 2 away from the y-axis, 1, 2. There's our new vertex. And then this point is 1 away from the y-axis, so 1 away from the y-axis. And this point's on the y-axis. You could still count. Here, we haven't talked about this one. 1, 2, 3 away from the y-axis. 1, 2, 3 away from the y-axis. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our quadratic. And our vertex of this is negative 2, 3. And again, I'm not going to take into account the reflector of the y. If you do want to take that into account, talk to your Algebra 2 teacher individually here, because we can write this equation without factoring in the reflector of the y-axis. So it's going to be y equals x minus a negative 2 squared plus 3. Double negative is a positive. And I think you'll find if you graph that on your graphing calculator, your quadratic will match what you just graphed.